What is something that's influenced you in your art that you're never going to talk about?
I've always been influenced by like horror movies and theatre. I've been a theatre kid. Like I used to do theatre outside of school, and just the theatrics of a show is so like now that I'm able to do it myself and on stage, I can notice that I've been putting that into my work, and like by having like moody lighting and like having like dramatic intros and outros throughout my set has come from my inspiration from like theatre. And yeah, like horror movies, just like watching those since I was young, and that's very influenced my aesthetic and like goth and emo culture especially. And yeah, and I'm also very inspired by just other creatives and artists around me, like, and always taking inspiration from people that I love and what they do, and noticing the way like these people that I love, what they do that makes me love them, like the way they perform or the way they make music and how that music makes me feel, to be able to put that into my own work has been really inspiring.
Speaking of like people that you love and look up to, who were your biggest idols growing up?
Literally Charli XCX and Lord, and like honestly my older sibling Tom. They like anything they liked I loved, and it's like they introduced me to Buffy, they introduced me to like all the music that I love today, so they've always been like, they'll always be like such an idol for me. And then with like Charli and Lord, I've like been their biggest fans for like years, and there was a point in time where I'd seen like every single live performance on YouTube of theirs, and like now thinking back, and like I feel like I was like subconsciously taking notes of the way they perform, and it's so like that contagious energy that they have on stage and the way they interact with the crowd, and like I feel like I was taking notes and being like, okay, I'm gonna do that, this is how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna like move the way they express themselves is through movement, and it's really cool to see them on stage. And yeah, I've just like idolized that for so many years.
Speaking of Buffy, I just wanted to double check, is your name a Buffy reference?
Yeah, Prophecy Girl is the season 1 finale, and my sibling Tom actually encouraged me to use that name. I always knew when I was picking like a DJ name that it was going to be like Buffy related. Like there was like names like DJ Buffy, and then Tom suggested that one, so it just like stuck, because I just think it sounds really cool, and it's a good episode. It's not the best episode, but it's cool, and I like the symbolism it has, and like yeah, I'm just so like Buffy being the prophecy girl, she's been such a like just this female figure I've looked up to my whole life. And yeah, so I guess now that when I was like picking an alter ego, I was like, oh, she's someone that like makes me feel so strong, so being on stage using her, like trying to like use her power has been really cool, which is where Prophecy Girl came from.
What is your most prized possession?
I have the Charli XCX Crash tour poster in my room, and like on it says supported by Prophecy Girl, and like it's a poster that I got printed. There wasn't even any like out, but I like went to Officeworks and I got it done. But it's still like just the impact that poster has, and the memories that is from that poster, like from that tour, like that's so like that will always be such and I see it every day, like in my bedroom, it's there. And yeah, actually next to it I've got like the Crash poster, and I've got this poster of Slayyyter, which I brought to our last show when I was touring with her, and like I asked her to sign it, just expecting her to like sign her name, and she ended up writing this really beautiful message. So that would be that's my prized possessions.
And speaking of those two, when you open for such a like large artists with like really passionate fan bases, you know, they're really kind of like culty about it, how do you approach opening for an artist like that?
That was stressful. With the Charli show, I knew there was going to be a whole cult following. And like I've been a Twitter stan of Charli for so many years, and I follow so many like Charli XCX fan accounts who probably have no idea who I am. And so knowing that a lot of them will be there, it was so like the pressure was on. But I ended up making like 6 different sets because I was like, this has to be like every minute. I was only playing for 30 minutes each show. So in my head, I was like, okay, every minute has to be good. It has to I have to cram in as many songs as possible that I know I would want to hear at a Charli show. And yeah, the final set is like perfect. I'm so proud of that.
What's the best live show you've ever been to?
The Crash show, Charli XCX, was so good. And also, What's So Not, I toured with him around Australia in August as his support act, and watching his show was so he had this whole he brought this whole visual screen with him, and it was such an immersive experience of visual and audio, and the way he performed as well was so inspiring, and I was very surprised by that show, and I was just so that's something that I dream about doing, and seeing him pull it off so perfectly, it was so inspiring. And yeah, he said some really nice things about my work on that tour, which was so nice. And yeah, it was so cool to see just him create this whole world of his music with visuals. And yeah, I think visuals and audio is they just go hand in hand. It's such a cool way to enhance the experience.
And how do you approach creating a relationship between your visual aesthetic and your music? How personally, how would you approach that?
I don't know. It just kind of goes hand in hand. I never thought twice about having this particular brand, or Prophecy Girl is just a hyper extension of my own self-expression. So the way that I express myself and the way I dress, I'm glad Prophecy Girl is there to force me to, enhance it further. And I wouldn't have had the confidence to wear certain clothes or even wear makeup or even perform the way I do if it wasn't for Prophecy Girl. So I'm proud of what I've created with that, and it's helped me even with my queerness and my confidence. It's just helped so much. So the style and the music kind of goes hand in hand for me.
What other art forms outside of music are you interested in?
I actually graduated with a Bachelor of Design from Swinburne, and so I do all my own designs. I design my own merch and all the tour posters and everything. I like to have I have a very particular way of doing everything, and having it it's cool having all this experience with this degree to use into my own work has been so rewarding. Yeah, so I've always loved designing for music. So then I'm doing it for my own music is so cool. It just feels, it's very rewarding to do it for myself.
All right, so and outside of music, what piece of art that you've worked on are you most proud of?
I've actually designed a few single artworks for other artists, which is still in music, but I feel I was always just meant to be involved with music somehow. I never even thought I could do this, so now that I am, it's really cool. And I'm also really proud of working with Rendition, this party collective run by Miranda, and I was a part of that for most of 2022, and just having experience with throwing parties and club events was so cool. Miranda has such a beautiful eye for the way that they want to throw parties, and just to be involved with that was so lovely. And Rendition parties like that. But I played my first DJ show at a Rendition show, so it was nice to be a part of that. And Miranda is the best, and everything I do is so beautiful.
If you could remove or change one thing about the music industry, what would it be?
The lack of representation in commercial lineups, and the lack of local artists in commercial lineups. We have so many incredible local talents right here, and it's so frustrating to see these big organizations throw these like festivals or do these things, and they're immediately looking outwards instead of in. Like, we've got it here, you know. So and yeah, lack of representation. It would just be nice to see, you know, minority groups being involved in higher on the lineup, and yeah, and like also it's in industry, so there's already so many issues with that, and there's a lot I'd want to change, but yeah, that.
How do you feel about the re-emergence recently of scene culture and scene music?
I love it. I never got to experience it because I was like so little. Yeah, so it's cool seeing it come back and then being a part of it as well. And like every party that I play and like I see the crowd, I'm like, fuck, you guys look so cool. Like, it's so crazy having these people at my shows, and the way they dress is like I hope they realize how cool I think they are, because like, yeah, it's also awesome to be a part of that and to be able to even like play. Like, I've got a Paramore remix, a Veronica's remix, and a Linkin Park remix, and just to play those remixes at the club is so funny. And yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool. It's made its own little like it feels like this secret community that like whenever they go to these parties, especially like Baby Club, whenever they host events, it's like it feels like our little secret. And yeah, it's cool to feel like I'm also involved in this community, so I love it.
Who should we interview next?
Try Nina Geraci if she's not like anywhere in the world. Try Mayari. She's a really cool producer and performer. Try M-Toy or Stevza or Girl Noise, who's Ria, and just get the girls.
Anything you want to say? Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'm Prophecy Girl, and thanks.